In this lesson, we will discuss this beautiful piece composed by Julio Sagreras more than 100 years ago. It's a beautiful composition well suited for intermediate players or even advanced beginners. There are so many things to discuss no matter what style you play, fingerstyle or classical. In this video, I will not be only showing you where to put your fingers on. The main point of this video is efficient practicing. All the great guitar players, they have their system of practicing and they know exactly what's the next thing they have to focus on. So if you want, you can grab your guitar right now and start practicing with me. Let's start. In the first phase of learning this particular piece, I always recommend to my students to start with a thumb. Every guitar player has to learn how to play bass, as it is the most important voice in music. And the trickiest part that most people struggle with when they start playing the guitar is muting with a thumb. And that's exactly what we are going to practice now. Now we are going to play individual bass tones and focus on muting when necessary. We start with the bass A, play it with the thumb using the rest stroke, like this. Rest stroke means that you don't land in the air after playing like this, but you land on the string below. In this case, it's the string D. The next tone is empty E string. Play it using the rest stroke as well. Why? Because as you play and land on the string A, you immediately mute it. And that's what we need. We don't want these two strings sounding together. And this is a great benefit of rest stroke. In the bass, you can use it to mute the lower strings. The following tone is E again. Play it with rest stroke, and after that you play the tone A. The question now is, how do you mute the string E that you played before? You have two options. One is playing the tone A with a free stroke, meaning landing in the air, making a little circle and muting the E string again, like this. This is a very important movement. Every guitar player should know and practice this movement. You will need it so much. Now I will play both of these tones at first. E with a rest stroke and now A with a free stroke and muting. You use the momentum of playing to make a little circle and land. It can be a very fast movement and you land on the E string. This is the first option. This was muting after you play. Now I will show you a muting before you play. This option is my favorite. You play the tone E, and a millisecond before you play the next tone, you just make this little movement and mute the string. See? You just lift up a little bit the thumb upwards so that you mute with this part of the finger. This is another very useful and important movement every guitar player should know. So now it looks like this: E, rest stroke, muting, playing. Again, rest stroke, muting, playing. Rest stroke, muting, playing. Okay, practice both of these versions. Let's try to play the 4 bass tones we have learned so far. So, rest stroke, rest stroke, rest stroke, and the first option, free stroke and muting. The second option is rest stroke, rest stroke, rest stroke, muting, rest stroke. Let's check out the second group of the bass tones. We start with the tone A, rest stroke. And again, 1 millisecond before you play the following tone D, you mute with this part of the thumb, you make this little movement, and then you play D. For this tone, I would use a free stroke and land immediately on the following tone E. So again, tone A, rest stroke, muting, playing the D with a free stroke, landing on the tone E. I would play the following bass E with a free stroke. Why? Because we need to mute the string D. And it's far away, that's why we play a free stroke. If I would play rest stroke and land on the A string, I would need another additional movement to mute the D string. That's why sometimes a free stroke is a solution for muting. Basically, it's this movement. Use 3 strokes for both tones. This is another very important movement for all the guitar players. It does not matter which style you play. The last movement we will need, and very important movement again, that you should know, is placing the finger and muting at the same time. So I will show you now. We are on the D string. Now we go to the A string and we place our thumb flat on the string so that it mutes the low E string again with this part. So in context it looks like this. The E string, and from E string we go like this and we place and mute at the same time. And then we play again. You should practice this movement as well because you will need it very often. Again. Okay, let's play the whole second group of bass tones, starting with A, rest stroke, muting D, free stroke, preparing E. Now, E, free stroke, muting D, and now placing and muting at the same time A. Okay, again, rest stroke, muting, free stroke, muting, and placing and preparing at the same time. In the second phase of practicing, we are going to practice in short segments, always 1 bar plus the first tone of the following bar. Why do I add the first tone of the following bar to the segment? Because if you practice only each individual bar separately, without any reference what's coming after it, you may have a hard time to put all those pieces together later on. So that's why I always recommend to my students to add at least 1 note of the following bar to the segment so that they know what's coming after it. So we start with a thumb on the A string, rest stroke, and then we play the melody. Tone A with the middle finger, B empty string, C first finger, B empty string, and A with the middle finger again, and afterwards you play the bass E with the rest stroke. Again, A, rest stroke, and now melody, A, B, C, B, A, bass, rest stroke again. In the right hand, you alternate these 2 fingers, the first and the middle finger, starting with the first finger. There is a reference in the score. The letter I stands for the first finger, the letter M stands for the middle finger. We start with the first finger, so bass, and now first finger, I, middle finger, M, now I, M, I, and now we play the bass with the rest stroke. Again, bass, I, M, I, M, I, rest stroke. You can pause this video now and play just this little segment until it feels comfortable. As soon as you feel comfortable with the tones and the right fingering, start to focus on playing nice long tones. Play slowly and imagine that this whole segment is one big movement, not just 7 individual tones. One big movement. Music needs direction. Okay, practice this for a while until it feels comfortable. The next segment starts with the tone E, rest stroke, and now you play empty B string, then the tone C with the first finger, D with the ring finger, then C with the first finger again, and empty B string. Now you repeat the bass E with the rest stroke again. So I repeat E, rest stroke, now B, C, D, C, B, and E with a rest stroke. The fingering in the right hand goes like this. We start with the middle finger now. So we play the bass, and now you start the melody with the middle finger. M, I, M, I, M, and the bass rest stroke again. Again. M, I, M, I, M, and the bass. Okay, you can pause this video and play this segment until it feels really comfortable. Okay, once you feel really comfortable with the right fingering of this segment, you can start practicing the long tones. So play slowly, each tone consciously. Again. Imagination of this segment as one movement will help you a lot. So try it out, pause the video now, practice it, and once you feel ready, you can proceed to the following segment. The following bar is very similar to the previous one. We play the same tones. There are only a couple of differences in the right hand fingering. So we start with the first finger now, with I. After the bass, you start I, M, I, M, I, and now before you play the bass A, you have to mute the E string with your thumb like this, and then you play tone A with the rest stroke. Again, I, muting, bass A, rest stroke. Again, pause this video now and learn this segment with the right fingering. The next step are the long tones again. So once you feel comfortable with the fingering, start practicing long tones. Focus on the segment as a whole. One big slow motion movement, playing each tone consciously. Again. Okay, let's play the last bar of the first stuff. We start with the tone A, rest stroke. Now we play C, first finger, D, ring finger, E, empty string, D, ring finger, and C, first finger again. Then we continue to the tone A with the rest stroke. I repeat, A, rest stroke, now C, D, E, D, C, and A. In the right hand we start with the middle finger, so we play the bass, and now middle finger, M, I, M, I, M, and the bass. Okay, pause now and practice this. Once you feel comfortable with the right tones and fingering, start to focus on beautiful long tones again. This whole bar is one big slow motion movement. Again. Well, this is one of the most simple ways of how to learn something efficiently. I recommend this way of learning usually to the students who just start studying with me. And now let me go through the second part of this piece, showing you what tones to play, what fingering, and then you can divide it to the segments again and practice it the same way as you have done so far. We start with A, rest stroke, and then play C sharp with the middle finger, D with the ring finger, E, empty string, D with the ring finger, and C sharp with the middle finger again. And now we mute the A string with a thumb like this. Then we play a free stroke and land on the bass E. Again, this can be a little bit tricky, so A, rest stroke, now C sharp, D, E, D, C sharp, now you mute, play D with a free stroke and land on the string E. In the right hand, you start with the middle finger, so you play the bass, then middle finger, first finger, M, I, M, mute, play a free stroke and prepare on the E string. Let's continue with the following bar. We have learned that after you play the bass D, you play it with free stroke and land and prepare the following bass on the E string. So again, you play the D, free stroke, land on the string E, and now you play the melody, starting D, ring finger, empty E, F, the first finger, empty E, D, ring finger, and now you play the following bass, E with a free stroke again. Why? Because you land on the string D because you want to mute it. So again, now both basses are with free strokes. We start with D, land on the bass E. You play the melody, D, E, F, E, D. Now you play the bass E with a free stroke and land on the string D and mute it. So again, in the right hand you start with the first finger, so you play the bass. You start with I, M, I, M, I, and then the bass again. Okay, let me show you now the last two bars of this piece. So we start with the movement that we have practiced already, playing the low E string, landing on the D string. Now we play the melody. B, empty string, C, first finger, D, ring finger, C first finger, B empty string, A with the middle finger, and now you play the bass A with a free stroke and land on the 6th string because you have to mute it. So again, bass landing on D. Now the melody. B, C, D, C, B, A. Now the bass A, 3 stroke and landing on E. In the right hand, you start with the middle finger, so you play the bass. M, I, M, I, M, I, and then 3 stroke landing on E. That's it. Well, that's it for now. I hope this video was helpful to you. We discussed some very important topics like the thumb technique, muting with the thumb, some very simple ways how to learn something new. And let me know in the comments below, what are your challenges, what you struggle with. So that's it. I wish you a very productive and pleasant practicing session. See you soon.